he felt the dirt come piling down on top of it. But it wasn't a huge cave-in. As he knelt down in the hole, he could tell that only a small portion of the earth had collapsed. He dug with his hands until he found the leather handle. And then he pulled the suitcase up and out of the dirt. "I got it," he exclaimed. It was heavy. Turn and talk. It was heavy. What are you thinking? Why do you think that was in there, that detail? It was heavy.
A lot of jewels and stuff that make it heavy.
On the outside of the hole. The hole like collapsed and it all fell on top of him because it was heavy.
What do you think in the chest?
What?
What do you think is in the suitcase?
I should have heard that.
The one we found.
It's a treasure chest.
Yeah, treasure chest. But they think it's a suitcase.
Okay, finish
What's
your
in the treasure
thinking.
chest?
Quickly.
What?
3, 2, and 1. And I heard some different ideas out there. Some of you I overheard saying there might be some jewels, some gold, something in there that's making it heavy. And I heard that from Andrew and Elijah's group. I overheard someone saying the actual suitcase, if it's metal, might be heavy. Maybe there's nothing inside of it. Maybe the suitcase is heavy. And I overheard with that group here. Or maybe a combination of what's inside and the actual suitcase making it heavy. Anything else? Emma?
My group thought that maybe it was jewels, maybe some other Kate Barlow's belongings, like maybe the other side of a lipstick.
So some more lipstick, some the other side of the lipstick. So not only jewels or things that could be worth money, but other of her belongings. Interesting. Okay. Yes.
Me and Kelsey and we were thinking about in the beginning, so I think the warden was going to get the there's like a box of
Goodness. So thinking back to earlier in the book, Kim is saying that there was a box with her makeup in it. And who was her? The warden. Okay, and that's when she went and found the venom with the nail polish. And was that a silver box too? The venom had flowers on it, that's right. Okay. So thinking about that, maybe that has something to do with it. Okay, let's see. So it was heavy. He handed it up to Zero. "You did it," Zero said, taking it from him. "We did it," said Stanley. I'm thinking about character traits right now. "We did it," corrected him. He gathered his remaining strength and tried to pull himself up out of the hole. Suddenly, a bright light was shining in his face. Wait a minute. He gathered his remaining strength and tried to pull himself up out of the hole. Suddenly, a bright light was shining in his face. It's the middle of the night and cloudy, right, Andrew? "Thank you," said the warden. Or, "Thank you," said the warden. You boys have been a big help." And that's the end of that chapter. I'm a crossfinger. This book has a lot of cliffhangers at the end of every chapter. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is go back to a few places in the chapter, and I'm going to reread it. I'm going to show you some of my thinking about Stanley and Zero. And then I'm going to reread it and hear some of your thinking about their character traits. Sound good? Make sure you're listening and thinking at all times, okay? But before I go on, can you please turn and talk? How do you know something's a character trait versus an emotion? And is there any way of figuring out what a character trait is? There are 3 different ways I was saying. Okay. So turn and talk, remind each other what exactly is a character trait, how do we figure it out, and is there a difference between that and emotion? Okay, turn and talk, meaning showing me. Face to face, facing your partners, go, go, go. So if I never knew what a character trait was, just by listening to your conversations, I'll say, oh, okay, that's what it is. And I have some posters up over here, just in case you're forgetting.
that can be found on my
Okay, someone's personality. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? So what if I am usually a happy, outgoing person most days, but I came in one day sad because my dog isn't feeling well? Would you say I'm happy and outgoing, or do you think I'm sad as my character?
Yeah, she didn't say she
Do you think I'm sad as my character trait, or do you think that's an emotion? If it's just one day that I'm sad and not any other day, that's an emotion. So what would you say? Am I usually happy and outgoing as a character trait? Okay. What would you say Stanley as a character trait? What would you say about him? What about him digging the hole and not giving up? And I'm actually going to teach you a word, and I added it to the list today, and that's a word I'm going to be talking about. Does Stanley give up? Did he take care of Zero? Do you think he's a caring person and he doesn't give up? Do you think those would be character traits? Interesting. Right. Thank you, girls. I'm going to go check in somewhere else. Just listening.
We think it's how people act. You can see by how they act and how they feel most of the time.
Most of the time. I like that you said that, most of the time. Because
By finding out their character trait, you can also find out their emotions.
but there is a little difference between emotions and character traits. An emotion can be linked with character traits, but sometimes someone is upset or happy one day, but other days they're not like that. But if they're like that most days, and like I like how you said most, we can say that. Good. Zero. Can you think of a character trait for Zero?
A little strange sometimes.
You know what? I agree. Why? What's your evidence?
Because at the beginning of the book, he kept on saying these things about the shoes, and nobody knew what he was talking about. Yeah.
Like how'd you
He only talks to Stanley. It's kind of strange.
Alright, boys and girls, excellent thinking. I stopped in a few groups. Sharing out together. Who can tell me what a character trait is, and how we figure out what a character trait, or what is a character trait, and how can we figure out what the character trait is by the three little hints? Andrew?
This is what Elijah said.
Sure.
Okay. He said that character traits are basically adjectives.
Okay. Mhm.
And for example, if someone was upset like in their whole life, that's a character trait.
Their whole life. They're upset their whole life. Consistent. Most of the time, they're upset.
But
That's a
if
character
they're
trait.
upset with one day, that's not a character trait.
What would that be?
That would be emotion.
An emotion. Great, great. And I like how you said what your partner was saying. Excellent. And was that okay, Elijah? Did you get it correct? Good, okay. Someone else talking maybe something we haven't said today yet, okay? Isabella? We'll come up back over here.
My group was thinking that you could find a character trait by the way the person thinks, acts, and says, but also what other people think of them.
That's true, what other people are thinking. I like that, and maybe we should add that to the list, yes.
And sort of like, I was like thinking, this might not work in all places, but sometimes you can find out like what they wear. Stuff like that, because
Sometimes actually, yes. That could be a clue or evidence to help you with their character trait. You're right.
if they're always got gold all over them, that they might be really fancy or really nice.
They could be, but we can't always trust that because sometimes it's kind of like judging a book by its cover because you don't really know what's underneath until they are acting or saying or thinking because then you say, okay, that's who they really are. But I like that sometimes that's correct. You can, but we can't always trust that. Right, good, but I'm really glad you brought that up. Okay, one more.
Character
traits are how what others in stories say about them.
Yeah, what others in the story say about them too, like what Isabel said. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the chapter. I was going to use my document camera for the smartboard and show you the lines so we could all see them together, but unfortunately my document camera is not working right now. So we'll have to figure out that. All right, I'm going to go to the page 200 where Stanley and Zero return to the hole. This is the chapter I just read. As the hole grew wider, parts of the surface kept caving in. They were running out of room. To make it much wider, they would first have to move some of the surrounding dirt piles out of the way. He wondered how much time they had before the camp woke up. And then Stanley hit something with his shovel, okay? And then it caved in a little bit more. Did Stanley, I'm thinking, Stanley didn't give up digging. He didn't give up digging, he kept digging, even though, first of all, he can't see, it's nighttime and it's cloudy. Second of all, it's the middle of the night. And he can't see what he's doing, or his shovel, or the dirt, or what's going on. And the dirt keeps piling, keeps caving in, keeps caving in, keeps caving in. Even when he thinks he has to go to the top and dig back down, does he still keep going, and then especially when he hit something, he kept going, okay? Is that telling me he gives up? He's the person who's a quitter, he gives up? No. And I'm going to use this word, and this is kind of a big fancy word, but since you're going to 5th grade, I'm going to say it. Before I say it, can anyone think of a character trait that you would say for a person that doesn't give up and they keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going? Okay. Isabella?
Stubborn.
Oh, stubborn. We could definitely use stubborn. Andrew, could you go find me a marker really quick? I'm not sure where my marker is. Stubborn, I love it. Hold on to that idea because I'll write it down. And actually, you know what? We have it up there. We can check that off. Yes, something else.
Determined.
Determined, and actually that's a synonym for the word I'm about to tell you. You read my mind, yes.
Brave.
Brave, and brave, you're right. Brave, to be digging in the middle of the night, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. The word I'm going to tell you is a synonym for determined, which is exactly what he is. And the whole book, has he been stubborn? Has he been determined? Has he been brave? The whole book, he walked across the desert. He helped Zero, and now he's digging a hole in the middle of the night. The word I'm going to tell you is tenacious. Can we all say tenacious?
Tenacious.
A synonym for what, Emma? Determined. So if you or your friend doesn't give up and they keep going, 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 you can say, oh, they are what?
Tenacious.
Tenacious. So that's my thinking as I read that part. Oh, he's tenacious. He's determined. Okay, so we said stubborn. Excellent. All right, Isabella?
There's, I forget what you call them, but, I think it's your horoscope. There's one, it's actually mine, they're supposed to be known for not giving up.
You were,
Not
yes.
giving up. And what happened was, my mom read that and she, wondered if I was going to be good at doing something that would take a lot of patience, so she taught me how to crochet, and I'm actually really good at it because I don't give up on my project.
Text to self. Yes, and I would say you're very tenacious. And a lot of Taurus people I know. My son is a Taurus. He's 1 year old now. We'll have to say if he'll turn out being tenacious. We'll say. Okay, I'm going to read some lines, and now you are going to think in your own head. What would you say a character trait for Stanley is in this situation? So this is different. Okay, you ready? Okay, I'm almost at the end of the chapter right here. And I'm going to start here. But it wasn't a huge cave-in. As he knelt down in the hole, he could tell that only a small portion of the earth had collapsed. He dug with his hands until he found the leather handle, and then he pulled the suitcase up and out of the dirt. I got it! He exclaimed. It was heavy. He handed it up to Zero. You did it, Zero said, taking it from him. We did it, said Stanley. So when the book said we did it. And in this case, Stanley actually said it. So I'm going to just write Stanley said it. I was thinking, what? I was thinking this might be his character trait. I was thinking what? So what it said was, it was heavy. He handed it up to Zero, the suitcase, or the suitcase. And, or the briefcase, I'm sorry. It was heavy, he handed it up to Zero. You did it! Zero said, taking it from him, so giving him all the credit. But then Stanley corrected him and said, we did it. I think I would like that person in my classroom. We did it. All right, turn and talk. What would you say? And even if you can't come up with one word, say a few words to explain what are you saying about him? What's a character trait about him? Even if you can't come up with one word, maybe you can come up with a few words. I want everyone at least thinking and trying. So he corrected him. No, you didn't do it. We did it. What are you thinking about Stanley? What does that say about him as a person?
You're talking about maybe how he's like being non-selfish, taking all the credit for himself.
Non-selfish. Okay. Can I think of a word for that? What is it? Yes. Fantastic. Selfless. A person who's thinking about others, not taking all the credit. Right? And did we see evidence from that?
I think it was thinking that to feel like he's left out. He didn't really do that much, so that's why I think he said we did it.
We did it. But did Zero help out too?
Yeah.
Probably not equal 50-50, but he was still involved. Right, he probably kept him alive, and both of them kept him alive in different cases. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, yes.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One is, what does King mean?
Good. Good question. And I'm going to talk to you about it.
What
You remember? Something else I read? And actually, I think I know, was it a big vocabulary word? Okay. All right. I heard selfless. Thank you. Words that describe Stanley. I heard selfless, meaning not caring, only caring about everyone. You're selfless. Okay, caring about others. And sometimes others before yourself, but caring about others as well as yourself. It can be that. Sometimes selfless is more caring about others, but I would say, I would take selfless. Wait a minute. Anything else? Any other character traits to describe Stanley in this situation? No, you didn't do it. We did it. I'm not taking that I only did it. We did it together. What would you say a person that says that is? What's a character trait? Okay, yeah, encouraging. We did it together. Okay, I like that. Encouraging. Owen? Generous. Generous, okay. Jacob? Thoughtful. Oh, great words. Okay, thoughtful. Yeah, he thought to include him. No, we did it. Friendly. We do friendly. Can we use something a little bit better? Because they're already friends. But he's kind of making it a stronger bond here. Friendly. Friendly and caring. I would say caring. Okay. But friendly is good too. Okay. Now, so when the book said we did it, Stanley said, I was thinking that Stanley is selfless, encouraging, generous, thoughtful, caring, because what did he do? In your own words, can someone come up with that?
He didn't take all the credit, he gave some.
Thank you. Because Stanley didn't take all the credit for what? Okay. The credit for digging the hole. For finding the treasure, digging the hole. Okay. Okay, this is your sentence starter. You are going to go off and read independently your own books, and you're going to find a character. It doesn't have to necessarily be the main character, and you're going to just find one area in the text where they are thinking, they're acting, they're talking, they're saying something. And it tells you, it gives you a hint about what their character trait is, okay? And this is your sentence starter that you're going to be using. When the book said blank, I was thinking blank because blank, okay? And I was thinking part, that's where your character trait goes. All right, and I'll add that. Let's see, this, Rachel, you want to hand out this part of the room? This part of the room, and the actual put back up on my desk. Please, when you get this, clip this into your clipboard, write your first and last name on the top. Today is June 26th. Write that also at the top. Okay, you know, and I know you just think you don't have a clipboard, you can get one on the way. All right. I can borrow some of mine. All right. When I tap you on the shoulder, please go back to your desk and get your book or books that you need. And yes, you can go someplace in the room. But we are organizing, and some of the places usually sit are no longer there. So, at the front of the room is a really good place to sit. Please don't sit by the doorways. At your desk, I would stay away from the back corner of the room, and actually the back two corners of the room, I would stay away. Okay, thank you, Chris. Excellent. So, first and last name. Let's see, I'm not tapping anyone on the shoulder until I see first and last name. In June 26th, it's on the board. If you would like to copy this down before you go, this is what it should look like. I would suggest doing so. Why don't you put it up to my desk? And I'm going to leave this here in front of the room. As you are reading independently today, I will be checking in with a few of you, seeing how you are doing, asking some questions about your book, and checking in about character traits. And who can tell me one last time, what is a character trait? How do I know what a character trait is, Emma?
It's when someone is doing something that they don't do all the time, and if you can find it when
Don't do it all the time, or they
they do it all the time.
They do it all the time, okay. I thought, is that what you meant? Oh, yeah. Something that they're doing or saying or acting like that they do most of the time or all of the time. Because not everyone acts the same way all of the time, okay? Once in a while people have emotions that pop up here or there, but those are emotions, those are not character traits. Okay? If you are confused between character traits and emotions, I am here on the rug for a few minutes. You can check in with me before you go off. Is there anyone in here that would like to stay here on the rug with me checking in about, okay. As I tap you, don't stand up, just stay with me here on the rug. We'll talk maybe more about Stanley and Zero. Okay, all right. Oh, and before we go off, who can quickly read to self? Who can be my read to self person? And just go down the list. So student responsibilities, my teacher responsibilities, I'll be working with groups individually or in groups. Reading, Janelle, take it away, calm people, so just go right down the list. Reading, stay in one spot.
Stay in one spot. Joshua,
Read the whole time.
Victoria, pick a spot you want to measure it. I love the shine. Good fix. Oh, good fix.
Go ahead, relax and comfortable. Okay. Wonderful. Teacher. And we will be, and I'll be working with students in groups or individually. I am going to have you all work for about 15 minutes. A good amount of time, not too long. The page where you find your evidence about the character trait, can you please also write down the page number in the corner? Okay? If you can, write page number in the corner, page number. When we come back to the rug, we'll share. I'll pick a few of you to share your book title, the character you're talking about, and I would like you to read the few lines that told you what the character trait was. Okay? My pledge, my credit, so this one, you can have any more. Do you have one with you? And again, if you need just a quick reminder between character traits and emotions, stay with me here in the room. And then scoot up to,
Like who said we did it? Was it Stanley or you?
Stanley said we did it. Zero said you did it, and then Stanley said we did it. So we were talking about, by Stanley saying we did it, what is it telling us about his character traits? You have 1 minute. This morning, make sure we're listening, and then Rusty, I'll tell you. Okay, and again, if you need to zoom up a little bit, that's fine. Going off quietly, if I hear us talking, you come right back to the mic. A little bit, I'm just gonna grab some paper there. Just sit, relax, read a few minutes, and then really start finding out about that character. It might be at the end of your 15 minutes of reading, that's fine. Rose, can you please sit up while we're just meeting? When you go off, just read. Yes, you can lay down. We're just trying to. Elijah, did I not tap you? We're following instructions. Sorry.